Oh. I need to go.
10 minutes, 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4. 2, 1. It's 6 o'clock. I'm gonna call the meeting to order.
Here. Here.
And any person wishing to address the board may do so once per minutes and shall be addressed to the chair and not individual board members or members in office. This is a comment and option. Board is not required to respond to presenters. Silence or non-response from the board should not be interpreted as disinterest or disagreement.
Hi, my name is Len Matthew. I'm your Benzie County Commissioner representing this area. Happy to be here. I've had a lot of years of public service between the Air Force, public. Most recently, I was at Sleep Mare Dunes working on the staff house. I had to be here. Get to know everybody out here in.
Weeks ago, the MTA Planning Commission retreat. One of the interesting things is the top issue for townships as reported by the MTA aligns with the master plan issues that we're pulling back so far from the survey. And that top issue is township property taxes. I think kind of underscoring the concern that people have in Benzie County with that is the fact that the road commission's millage failed by a thin margin. It still failed. It's part of the property tax of the whole county, but certainly impacts inland. And people that know me know that budgeting is one of my hot issues, and I'm happy to see on tonight's agenda 8A, the millage issue being brought up again. I think the township has made great strides in budget development, but it's still not where it needs to be. Planning Commission will be working after we finish the next section of the master plan on a capital improvement plan. But my concern following the MTA conference and my general concerns, I think the dashboard clip that's been put together by the Finance Committee is a good start, but I think it needs some tweaks. And here's what made me want to speak about it tonight. The notion that the township's cash balance remains healthy, closing October with $2,453,619. In some respects, it's healthy and certainly better than having that as a deficit. But it's, I think we're grossly overweight if that dollars were pounds. And I think the proof is that we have a fund surplus of in the neighborhood of 1.5 million. And that's not counting properties that we may or may not be keeping. And we only have $1 million budget. I mean, we have a surplus that'll carry us for a year and a half without another tax dollar coming in. Additional proof that we're way overtaxing our people, our residents, our neighbors, is that we're 58% into a year and we've only spent 29% of the budget. Now, I understand that there are some budget things that hit during certain times of year for 1 month, and they might be big, they might be small. But again, we're still, over halfway into the year and spending, not even a third of the budget. I think we're being overtaxed. And so one of the changes that I'd like to suggest for the snapshot display is that in addition to red and green, we add another cautionary color, perhaps orange, and take up at another MTA conference. Rod Taylor was there suggesting something that he suggested to Inland Township before, and that's having a fund balance policy. The other thing that I'd like to quickly address, if I still have 20 seconds, one of the things stressed at the MTA conference for the Planning Commission that I attended, it was, and stressed by all but one of our presenters were attorneys and attorneys that work with the MTA, is keeping detailed and accurate records as being so incredibly important. Specifically, they were addressing the planning commissions, but I think it applies to the entire board. And one of the things that I found most interesting is that minutes should reflect more of a township or a commission's thinking, not just the motions and whether it passed or failed, by a count or not. But having not a transcript of what went on. If people want a transcript, they can watch the videos that we're now making. But including in things like the public comments or even discussions of emotion, what discussion was had so that there's some track record, particularly for the planning commission, which is more likely to go to court over property issues. There's an actual trail of conversation, not just emotion, because what we were told is if there's just emotion, court's going to look at that and said, you didn't put any thinking into it, and they're going to rule in favor of the resident. So anyway, thank you.
Anybody else?
Peggy Case 15398 Homestead Road. I was going to speak from a piece of paper that I inadvertently left at home. I'll just got it on the, I can't read that. That's too tiny. I filed, and I'm just speaking now as an ordinary citizen. My resignation as chair of the committee comes up later on your agenda. But as an ordinary citizen, I want to speak one more time about the oak quilt. The money, all that money sitting there that's not being spent, some of it could be spent to cut those trees down, and that's what I would like to see happen. I realize the trenching is off the table, because the cutting of the trees is not because it's done in the winter. Anywhere up until April is the appropriate time for cutting the dead trees. So I would still like to see you do that. There are other issues. I filed an annual report that didn't make it into your packet. So it will eventually get there. It includes not only our position on the oak wilt, but, an update on everything that the committee has done so far, with particularly the Land Road Park, but it also addresses the other park. So, I don't think I have a whole lot else to say. I regret that we're not dealing with it appropriately. And, I'm not looking forward to watching the park degrade as each year more trees die. But in the meantime, those of us who live in that area and who use the Lamb Road Park until you decide to sell it, if you're going to sell it, I hope not. But if you are going to sell it, I would hope you'd contact one of the Lands Conservancies and see if they'd be interested in it before you do that, instead of just opening it up for development which would be kind of a waste of all the 3 years we put into that park. So there's a few more little details that need to be taken care of that my family will take care of. Nothing big, just, we're going to take care of that brush that's blocking the view of the trail. The first trail, we're going to cut that out of the way and get it out so you can see where that trail is. And we'll install the wastebasket that was sitting in the office there. We'll get that installed as soon as the snow melts. And we'll keep maintaining the trails just because we walk them, and we'll keep going.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, public comment closes at 6:10. Approval of meeting agenda.
Motion. I move the Inland Board approve the meeting agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I would like to correct item 9H. Wait a minute. More discussion. You made a motion, now we get to discuss it, right? I thought that's how it worked.
Yeah,
You seconded it. So 9H says payroll issues to be addressed by integrated. I think that it needs to say payroll issues need to be addressed by integrated and payroll personnel. Integrated is not capable of solving them all alone.
Pay what?
Personnel.
Personnel.
Yes.
Any others? Take, I guess it's all in favor, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval consent agenda. Prepaid bills.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented, minus the budget amendment adjustments and amendments.
I'd like to include payroll be removed. I'll second that.
Any discussion? Yep.
Okay. Mary, you spoke first. You want to do yours?
Yeah. I will just flip my page here. Okay, on the top column of accounts, if you get down to 101-268-752, supplies.
Oh, budget adjustments.
Uh-huh. It has in our budget $1,000 and we're gonna add increase by 500, so that line should read 1,500, not 2,000.
The payroll totals on this line are incorrect. The taxes total where it states 3729.75. A portion of that. I'll just pull up the report. So the taxes that are, there's a portion of taxes that are already included in the $14,394. That amount that's included in that is $2,628.59. The part that the township matches, which is not including the 14, is still $1,101.16, which makes the actual total for payroll that we paid $15,495.16. If you add the 133 that we paid to have them do it for us, it brings it to a total of $15,628.16.
Bottom lines of all of them added together.
If you look at the bottom,
Yeah.
yeah, but it tells you right on the very bottom of the page, right here, this is the total amount you paid.
Good, that's what I got here.
I took the ones from here.
Any other discussion?
Nope. Those need to be changed.
We want to include the amount that we pay integrated in or not, then, since you brought that up.
I don't
personally-
think so because it's payroll.
It's just strictly
Payroll is
payroll.
payroll. and then
Right,
the
okay,
That's an
charge
office
that they-
yeah,
Yeah, that's an office bill.
okay.
Or at least that's how I see it.
That's how I see it as well. I included it in there just so that my number matched the bottom of that page.
Okay. So minus 133, okay.
It's roll call.
No, it's included in money. Consent agenda.
We took it out of the consent agenda because we needed changes. So we still have to vote on it, don't we?
But it's not a roll call.
Yeah.
It should be roll call.
Consent agenda is always,
It's concerning money.
yeah,
Right, you're right, because of the prepaid bill. I was thinking
yeah,
this-
right. It must be the snow.
It is. Weird.
Okay. Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Bites.
Yes. Previous minutes from October.
Just your name is spelled wrong is the only thing I saw.
Did I?
Seeing two.
What page is we on?
We need to, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from October.
I'll second.
So we can discuss now, right? So when we make changes to the minutes, we never see that those changes have actually been made. We recommended this. So, now we'll just move on, right? Next month we'll get, we don't see that again unless we go looking for it. It doesn't come in our package again and the public doesn't
It's in
see
the
that.
approved minutes that I send to Rose and she puts them online.
Okay, I was just curious if they could be included, to Jim's point there. Like if we have to change the minutes, if they could, that those changed minutes could be in the next packet as well, so that we, if that makes sense, can see those
We can't
changes.
approve them again. Okay.
Well, we don't have to approve them. Never mind.
One
I was
month.
just thinking out loud because it just seems that we never see the old minutes, right, once they've been changed. So we don't know for sure unless we go looking for them, that what changes have been officially made. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. I don't know anybody who puts approved minutes back in their packet. Once they're
Well-
approved, they're done and you don't see them
You
again.
wanna be like everybody.
I'm just saying what is there.
I understand. I just know that in my research for the payroll project, I've had a lot of time or a lot of trouble finding different things in there. So I'm just trying to think of ways to make it easier to locate that information and to give more information. Just an idea.
Do you want an email?
If you want, yes. When you do when the updates, yes, I would like to see them. That'd be great.
Because I send them to the web. I can,
I normally make my changes and I keep it here, but I would like to see the official one and I don't typically go looking for it. So that'd be great. Thank you.
That was the only change.
put all the change for minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. On the bills.
Move to approve the unpaid bills, number 14E to 15E, and checks number 15,853 through 15,874 for a total of 26,170 and 47 cents.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes, motion carries. Financial report.
It's a question. Who's that report?
Depends on which report you want.
The financial report. Let's see. Ready?
There's two, there's
Yeah,
capital.
just flip it over.
That's why I can't find it.
And that's what they, that is actually financial report there as well, so depends on which one you have questions on.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I was just looking at the different numbers with the general account and the fire fund, and planning and zoning, and general agency trust, that there was some difference in the two papers, and I was trying to understand why they were different. Like the very first one, there's a difference of 37,906.15.
And I know what you're talking about. What and what?
This, the,
So these totals don't, this assets on here, it depends on how that's categorized, right? Like your asset is your building, it's your trucks, it's your different things. They're not on, this is cash. Two separate things. Makes sense?
Okay.
I just had questions. Questions are answered.
Unfinished business. Fire department. village. Just, we've had a month to think about it. Looking to see what we wanna do with this. Do we wanna have a millage? Or do we wanna fund it?
My only thought is if we take it away, right, then we have to go back to a vote. And so when we discussed this in the previous board, I think you weren't here and you weren't here yet. I believe it was Manny, right, who said, and different people said they didn't recommend totally taking it away if we didn't know that we were sure we didn't want it. Now, if we take it to zero, and Art Janat was here, the commissioner was here, and he said the same thing. He didn't recommend ever taking it immediately to a zero. But we could lower it down drastically, and
We're talking two different things.
you're talking about whether you want to carry the millage or not, right?
That was when we were talking about the L 4029 for our,
You're talking about
It was on the
doing away
tax
with the
bill.
fire millage, correct?
Yes,
That's
but also the
exactly the
L
same
40
thing.
and 29, decide if you wanna. do zero
Exactly.
Or you wanna leave it at.
Right.
this is to
0.5.
renew the millage, not, that wasn't to renew it.
Well, I know, but it's the same principle, right? Like, we could have taken that down to nothing and not collected on that millage for another year. So this is the same kind of thing. Do we want to ask for millage? In my eyes, it's kind of the same thing. Do we want to ask for millage or don't we want to ask for millage? If we don't ask for a millage, people are going to get used to not having a millage on that. And if we decide in 3 years we want a millage, then that's going to be a hard sell, as we've stated. I'm not saying, I'm just throwing that out there because it was recommended to us not to take it down to zero. And so I don't know that not renewing it. I don't know that it's not either. I'm just stating,
Mr. Supervisor, may I parliamentary
He was on the
procedure.
board at that time and
No.
the major discussion in it too.
I don't wanna get in the habit of it.
Well, I know you don't want to, but from a parliamentary procedure standpoint and a statutory standpoint, just trying to share one of the things that I learned a couple of weeks ago. In order to have a millage, you have to have a plan. And I understand we have a fire department, and from an operational standpoint, you know, you can change that millage whatever you want, as long as it's part of the budget. I don't see a clear plan for, and I'm assuming this is the equipment millage, or is it operational millage you're talking about? Because there are two fire millages.
Only one's expiring now,
Yeah.
equipment, right?
Unless you have a plan, to put a millage out there without a plan is contrary to the statute. Just saying. I'll be quiet.
I have a concern too with the petitions that are going around to take care of people's property tax. There wouldn't be as much coming back to the township if that would ever go through. And I know it's
Right.
something that,
But when we do a millage, it's only for fire.
Yeah, but it's axe my tax is what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
So we don't pay
And
any.
Teresa, what I think I heard you say is it's easier for a renewal
Correct.
versus going out with a millage brand new from the get-go.
Exactly, and so whether, and that's my question, do we really take it, we're taking it down to zero if we don't do one. Would we be better off to drastically lower the amount so that we're still putting some savings or plan? Because even if our goal isn't, to Jim's point, isn't to buy a new fire truck in a year per se, but we still are gonna need equipment to run a fire department. So do we wanna take it down to I'm just throwing it out there, cause I'm not saying I'm strong one way or the other, I'm
So
just saying we have to
Reduce it
consider
and
that.
fund them as well with some of our general fund money?
I say we don't fund them with our general fund money, that's not, I don't, why would we
Okay,
do that?
well, that
They
was
have
just my
quite a
question
substantial
to you.
savings.
That's just my question to you.
Yeah, I think another way to look at it is this millage here was approved by the voters
Right.
of Inland Township. Maybe you let the millage go again and let the voters decide versus the five of us.
Right.
Here.
can we hear from our fire chief?
What millage are we talking about? On this, it says the fire millage, but it sounds like you're talking about the equipment. We need to define
We already
what
said
we're
equipment.
talking.
It is the equipment.
It's the equipment, okay.
Yeah.
Can
The one
we,
expiring.
okay, I'm just making sure, because it sounds like we're on two different pages, because this says one thing, and you're talking about another thing, so I'm trying to make it clear for my
Yeah, it was the
record
same
of what
that
we're
was in the
trying to,
packet last one.
I know, and it was,
I just had to buy our fire truck, we're talking the same thing.
so it's the equipment millage that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not saying that that's the way to go, I'm just saying that, I don't, to Jim's point, we really should have a plan. What is our plan? But it is something to consider, we might not wanna go right to a zero, we might wanna reduce and. Don't shake your head at me.
Did you talk
So-
to our attorney about the millage?
About what?
About the-
What, like what
We don't
point
have-
of it? Like,
yeah.
we don't have one, so I would have to talk to her to have her write a new one.
Okay.
So until we decide that, there's nothing for me to really talk to her about.
You have to approve this so that Ben can take
Yeah.
it to the attorney and they can,
And with L 4029, when it comes in, because it comes through our board every year, even if we have the same millage at, what this one was, we could decide how much of it we need to use at that point as well.
And I was looking for how much that millage is, but I didn't find it. Could you tell me what our
It's 1 mil.
proposed millage is?
Yeah, it's right here, 1 mil.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
to approve that and send it to the attorney. And then, once we bring it back, once the attorney does it, we bring it back with the correct wording. Any,
But we didn't decide what we want that
Correction.
wording to be yet. We need to decide whether we wanna do a zero millage or not do a millage at all, or what point we wanna do, a half mil, what do we want? We have to give something to the attorney to work with.
thinking of is 1 mil, and we could always, when we do the outward, less, but it can never be more.
Mhm. We can always raise it back the following year. To what?
To
To
1
just
mil.
that? No, to just the current amount. The headly will knock it down over
Right.
2 years, so we can bring it back up to whatever the headly says we can, but not up to the 1 million.
So if we decide that we don't want to do a millage, or if we don't want to collect it, we can't go down to 0, but we can go down to a lot
Point
less.
001.
And then we can, that, the next year, we're still entitled to move that up if we want. We can go up and down through the whole term of the millage. But again, I'm truly trying to weigh both sides here, because like Jim said, what is our plan to spend this millage on? What are we gonna spend it on? We have a lot of money for equipment. Are we planning to buy a new truck? I just happened to read today that Benzonia bought a new used truck. Did I read that right? Not too long ago?
Frankfurt bought a,
No, I was reading Benzonia.
Benzonia didn't buy a truck, not that I know. Frankfurt bought a used ladder truck, tower truck, which it's not their first line out truck, so it can be used. It's 15 years old.
Anyway, I don't know what the answer is.
I move that we send the fire equipment millage proposal to the attorney for any updates. And then bring it back to the board once it's done.
Including the 1 mil that's staying in there.
Yeah, because we can start.
Okay,
Right,
I'll second.
any discussion?
When does this go on the ballot?
They're going next year.
When?
I think it's gotta be in by May, right?
November?
It'll go August unless somebody does a May election.
Any other discussion? Can you take roll call, please?
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes,
Zelinski.
Yes.
motion carries.
When does this go on the ballot?
It'll go on next year. If there's a, I don't know exactly. If there's an August election, so for sure. But if there's a May, we can put it on as soon as May.
What's the deadline for getting it in?
I'll, I'll,
We'll have to look at those
I'll take
things.
care of that with the calendar.
Sick leave ESTA.
I have some questions on this before we really get going. On the accrual under the exempt employees, who are exempt employees? Not us, because we're not eligible at all, but who's the exempt employees under bullet 3?
You are an exempt employee. You do not have to track your hours.
I know that. But
You
is that
said
the
I'm not-
only one?
You and Ted,
No, another board is not on.
no, that is not correct. Rose, Ben and I have to track our hours.
According to Katie, when I
Yeah.
talked to her, she talked to the paralegal counsel too prior to this. They do not have to track hours appointed. They do not.
Well,
Or not appointed and elected.
elected. So our attorney stated that there is no clear mandate. This is what she said. And so there are different attorneys telling you different things. I spent a lot of time reading about this and talking to different people about this and what they recommend. It has not been tested in the courts as of yet, so there's no precedent set. So when there's no precedent set, somewhere along the line, somebody's going to court over this. Because you don't spend a single day in your office, typically, where you do nothing but statutory duties. So if you are in the office and somebody comes in and they ask you, where do I get my election ballot? And you answered it, non-statutory. You could come back and sue for earned sick time in the future. Everything that you do is non-statutory, makes you eligible for earned sick time. So unless you strictly do nothing but 100% of your statutory duties, so you can run a meeting and you can do your budget, you can't do anything else. And you're open to it. So do you want to be the township that gets tested in court? Or do you want to document those hours?
I would
And the
think
recommended
company would
way-
get tested before. a lot bigger
Well, you
dollars.
don't, well, that's true. I mean, there's a good chance of that, but it's not a hard process to document your hours. So why wouldn't you want to do it until there's a precedent set or until there's amendments, which there will be, according to everybody involved. There will be amendments made to the state policy. Most people aren't tracking their hours because they're doing it such as this. There's a lot that I've learned over the last day that we haven't had a chance to talk about yet. So for instance, if we say, and I'm gonna pick on you, if you say that you work 20 hours a week, that's 80 hours a week, then, or I'm sorry, you're right, correct, 80 hours a month, then you would have to document 80 hours towards your ESTA, which gives you 2 point something hours of earned sick time. Still gonna be a long time. We're not harming anybody. You don't have to literally punch a clock. You're just, because you're a salaried position, you can give an estimate of what your hours are. It's recorded, it's automatically done. Everybody on salary who can do that. We have a couple problem situations with salaries that we have to iron out the complete details to. The attorney said we don't have to come up with all of those fine details immediately, because it does state in here that we can make amendments to this as we learn more and do more. But the most important thing is this was supposed to be done in February and it needs to be done immediately to approve this policy. But she recommends that everybody but I want to be specific and make sure I don't miss anybody. Every single person that tracks their hours except for the trustees don't have to because they don't hold office hours. The Board of Review doesn't because it's an appointed position. The Planning Commission does not have to. It's an appointed, how do I find my notes in here? I'll give you all those, but pretty much there's not many people exempt from tracking in her
So
recommendation.
if you're appointed, you don't have to.
Correct.
So I don't have to.
No, you're wrong, because you're.
I was-
Well, I'm not the attorney, so don't ask me. I'm just the messenger here. But you are correct. So, but she does recommend, and there is a lot of debate on that one, but she does recommend that since it is not tested in court, that we err on the side of caution and document it. It's not harming us in any way. It's not, and actually, the biggest problem is that we're gonna run into is how we pay that money out. Because there has to be stipulations of how that money is paid out. When do we cross from, that isn't in this policy that we have to address as well? When do you cross from your sick leave in here into Family Leave Act and into other laws that are tied in with this? It's a complicated thing. I learned a
It
lot.
is. How do you build a budget for that?
Well, that's problematic with the way that we've
Yeah.
done things. And for example, we have some issues. We have Dayton's salary that we need to address. What does Dayton's salary cover? How many hours is he working for that salary? What hours do we give him for ESTA for those things? There are a lot of issues that need to be addressed that we need to put into there. Just, because we have to come up with his average hourly wage. Because, and it has to meet these certain things, and it's the highest wage of those. We have to do it for the cleaning lady. We have to do it because she gets paid a salary for cleaning Bendon, and she gets a salary for cleaning here. So we have to figure out what her average amount of time she spends cleaning is, what her salary is, and therefore what her hourly pay for sick time is. And sick time can cost the township and businesses a lot of money. It's not gonna be a cheap thing to implement.
Well, that was leading right into my next question, which is on page 2. On the carryover and no cash out. On the second bullet there, it says accrued but unused sick time under this policy is not paid out at the time of separation from employment. And I'm wondering, why not? It's earned. They put in the time for it to make it into sick time. So why There's a
Typically, you
benefit
don't
not
get
there.
benefits from part-time positions. I mean, and really, there isn't any full-time positions here. Typically, it's unheard of to get a lot of benefits from a thing. And also because we don't have benefits. I guess that's the biggest thing. And that's the law.
Pardon?
It sounds like we have benefits.
Well, that,
Well, here's the thing, when you're on salary, it's really hard to use your earned sick time because you're getting paid anyway, your salary. So you technically, if you say, I'm not gonna be here during my hours, you still have to do your job, you still have to get it done. So if you take your salary and you take your earned sick time, now aren't you kind of double dipping? So you can only, I don't know how, we have to iron all those
well, it
details
can't
out.
be considered double dipping because it's now a state law,
Right.
so.
Well, it's a state law to be used for certain purposes. It's
Right.
supposed to be used if you have an emergency
I
surgery or if you
I
have to pull. It's
understand
not to say, hey, I just need some extra money this month and I'm gonna take a couple extra sick hours.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's what I'm
I-
saying. We have to make policies to make sure that those things are clear.
But I wanna know if someone is actually going to separate from us, why shouldn't they get what they have earned? They've
You ask
earned
this-
that.
The lawmakers put a lot of thought into that. So ask them. I mean, I didn't make that law.
But this is something that we can change if we want to, is my understanding. That's why we're going over it, to see if we wanted to make it.
I wouldn't want to do
Changes.
that. These
You-
are
you
part-time
don't wanna do
positions
that.
and I,
Mary, we already overpaid people money that they didn't work for, they didn't earn, and we've already lost that money, technically, unless they come to us or we sit down and talk to them and say, hey, an honest mistake was made and we didn't take the right steps to correct it. We've already handed money out.
Yeah, I know we corrected that, but.
No, we
it
didn't
was-
correct it. We can't correct it now. We're past the time limit.
But anyway, that was my question as to whether or not we wanted to have it. Because in different jobs that I've had part-time, if you had some hours built up, even if you left, then you were paid for those hours. So that's just my understanding of how this works.
yeah, it's.
Well,
their
working in
policies.
government and civil service
government
does
is
not
weird.
give you those.
Yeah, I know where I work. If you put in your 2 weeks notice and you haven't used your vacation time, you lose it.
Yeah,
Where I work, you don't get paid out.
yeah, I know.
It's,
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Right. This is money that we are required by law to give to people, and I don't have any problem giving it to people if they really need it for the right reasons. It's not a benefit, I feel, that people get to take with them.
Okay.
But you,
Yeah, well, I just disagree with that, but that's
Yeah.
all right. We can have differences of opinion.
yep, for sure.
We making a motion on this or? We're just going-
I mean, we do need to make a motion because we do need to approve it.
Okay, I move,
But
the
do
only-
people want to, yeah, go ahead.
I move we approve the sick leave policies required by the state Earned Sick Time Act as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Any other discussion?
I, I, I think that, so there's a few things in here, that I think, so it says that eligible employees may begin to use sick time immediately. I don't think that we should really have that in there. I don't know exactly. I think there is a waiting period where we can put a 90-day restriction on people to use it. And I think that if I'm correct there, which we would have to confirm, I think that we should do that. And I think that because we don't have everything ironed out in our details yet. So I think before we start handing out earned sick time, we have some people who have accumulated some time. I think we should make sure that our policies are set before we do that.
We're talking the first bullet under use.
Correct, okay. To clarify.
I don't really have a problem with them using it immediately. You get 1 hour for every 30 hours you work, so to get an hour.
We have people who've been accruing since February, are you aware? There's some people who have quite a few hours accrued. You don't care?
But they've earned it, right?
Correct. So even the people that we don't have ironed out what we're gonna pay them and how we're gonna pay them would be subject to being able to take that immediately.
Most of the people that we're paying have an hourly wage.
Except for janitorial.
Except for janitorial,
And
except for
the-
our assessor, except for Rose, except for you, except for me, except for our fire chief.
So all of you that you just mentioned are exempt employees. By definition, you have a salary.
We are not exempt, according to,
Unless you go by definition.
I know, and so who okay, so we were paying an attorney for advice, do we wanna follow it? Or do we not?
And I think we do. I believe the attorney drew up this particular policy.
She drew this policy up pre to changes being made in the law. This is a policy that was sent in February to us.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about some employees that we had, not the law. I misunderstood.
I'm misunderstanding as well now, because I'm not sure where we're going with this. So this document right here, if you're questioning like why something may read exactly in here, like that we are exempt, that was done before there was some fine tuning of the law, which just took place a couple months ago. And so this has probably not been updated since then by her. Because I just talked to her today and I just talked to her on Friday, and she said we should track all of our hours and that we are all eligible.
I see nothing wrong with what she's saying,
Mhm.
that the three of us track our hours. I
Yep.
see nothing wrong with that, because it's not, it's there as a safeguard for what if.
Right, and I'm just saying that in order to protect ourselves from
That's what
potential
it's-
getting into trouble that we've paid somebody again incorrectly, or that we're paying somebody the wrong amount, let's try to hold that off a little bit. We can amend this at any time, says so right in here.
Mhm.
Let's iron out all those details. Let's make sure we're doing everything correctly before we start letting people use it. But some people already follow into that 90 days, right? Because they have been documenting it since February, so they could use theirs. Meaning the firefighters.
Yeah,
They've been documenting theirs.
so I wanna take that out.
I just want to make sure that we're not going to get ourselves into more trouble.
It's still not solid as whether or not paid on call.
They're a gray area too, and
Yeah.
we could,
That's
if
why
we
we're
wanted
tracking
to.
them.
Well, the only gray area with them is as soon as we require training, that puts them into a mandatory tracking,
Yes.
even though they may do training. Some of the firefighters don't do training here. So technically, EMS guys aren't required to do training. I believe Dayton said we have one gentleman who is just EMS, so we don't have to track him because he's not required to do training, because it's firefighter training that Dayton does. So all the other firefighters, but again, I don't know this is true because we also have to make sure this stuff is in policy. And I don't know if we have a firefighter policy. Haven't had a chance to dig into that, right? Like, so if it's in policy that they have to attend training and it's part of their job, I don't know if they sign a contract to have their job. But as soon as we tell them that they have to hold any kind of training, now we have to track their hours. If we said training's volunteer, we don't have to track their hours.
So on all of this, we are erring on the side of caution,
And that's why
which
yeah.
is the better thing to do.
I mean, we can leave it in there, cause now that I think about it, it's really only us and I don't. Well, not really, just, yeah.
I mean, we can change this next month. So.
Right, we might as well leave it in there, cause we can change it the other way too, so. There's just a lot of things that we need to, address, and honestly, I would prefer if somebody else would be interested in doing that research. I mean, I will do it if nobody else will, because I have taken this on. I feel like some things are more than one person should be looking into doing it. We have said for a long time, we're gonna hire or start a fire committee. I think that needs to be done sooner rather than later, because I think some of the issues that are crossing over into this policy could be answered at the same time. So, I think I received an email from our assessor, who's another one who gets a contract. And we're not certain here, at least I'm not even certain not here, exactly what that contract covers for him to do. So what I've always been told his contract that we pay him directly is simply to sign a tax roll. Is that 1 hour for a salary? What does that entail? He's clarified it. I think all of you were copied on it a little bit in the email, but we need to iron out those details too, and what his average pay is, and whether we need, if we're gonna give him, like I said, an estimated time for, a monthly allowance, so to speak, to the ESTA policy, and what his wage would be for that. All that needs to be calculated out
Is it,
on the fire chief, on him, on each and every one of the people who are on salary.
Are we ready to
Please.
call the motion?
yeah, I was just
Is
gonna
that what
say,
it's
is there a
called?
motion
Yeah.
on the floor?
Call the question. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's actually supposed to take a vote to call the question, if we're gonna be super legal about it.
Let's just vote.
Yeah, we already have a motion on the table.
Yeah, we do.
That was seconded.
And then we discussed it more, so
So all in favor?
I
Aye.
don't know.
Money.
This is
Oh,
a policy.
Policy.
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries.
So we'll just, I'll just.
So just to follow this up, we do have to make those, those decisions, and are you wanting me to make those decisions and do that research alone? Or are you?
Let's talk more.
A serious question.
It's a serious
D-
question.
no,
I think
no,
it's
I'm
an
gonna ask
important
you.
thing for the board.
I don't.
Will integrated help?
I have spoken with Integrated on this a lot, and Integrated has made some suggestions, but no, they can't tell us how to basically create our policies, because that's really what
I
we're
get
doing.
that, but I was,
Their suggestion is, they said almost all firefighters, for example, and this only has to do with, because of the issue with tracking, hours as well, with having an hour minimum. They said most fire departments they don't do an hourly wage, they do a per run rate. So it would be much like how we fund a meeting, $60 a meeting. It'd be whatever their fee is per run. I see pros and cons to that. I just had this conversation with them today, so I haven't had a chance to talk to Dayton or anybody else about that possibility. There's a lot of little things that need to be ironed out still. I mean, I can do it outside if nobody wants to help me. It's okay. Moving
All
on.
right, action items, Parks and Rec resignation.
Yep, Peggy has, asked to.
It does not have to be in writing. I thought that was in our stuff. It needs to be in writing.
so if it's not
I'm
in
not-
writing,
I'm not
someone
sure.
resigns.
I know.
What is,
No, because I was surprised we just seen this and there was nothing in there, so I just made a
Same.
blank page that just said Parks and Rec.
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept Peggy Case's resignation from the Parks Committee.
Okay, I'll have the second, and I'll have her. write that.
So you're seconding it.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Spring cleanup. Just wanting to get this in front of everybody before it gets late and, we don't have a date for trucks or anything, so.
Did you make a date?
I have not yet.
But we usually do it in May, don't we, the first week?
so I did a little lookup. This year we did it Sunday, May 4th.
Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday,
Saturday.
they're Saturdays.
Who's on Saturdays?
They
Okay,
really are.
Saturday.
And that we approved a rate of $64 per yard for GFL with a fuel charge of 25% of that total. And then there was another motion that we approved for postcards to be mailed out to all township people on the mailing list at $1,500.
Can we, I know that our prices are 25 and 50 right now. Can we do that tandem covered wagon thingies? Can we increase those prices for that? Cause to like 75 or 100, because cars and trucks are 25. We got the regular trailers, the 8-foot trailers, and 50. But, you know, we do have those people who bring in those huge things still, and
I
it's a
personally,
question to.
I get it. Is there a motion or do? Can we
No.
answer? Okay, so, so I'm usually the one that talks to every car and collects the money, and I'm the one who made the suggestion that we take the tandem wheel out of there, because the year before that, the only two people that had them were people that had like one thing on their trailer, literally, that was it. We've had several people pile up stuff, you know, like strapped down over a pickup truck. You know, and so that would probably fill a tandem trailer. So I don't know if that's the answer, because I don't feel like that's necessarily, I mean, maybe we could say something along the lines that, you know, may have an additional $25 charge for extra large load. I don't know
Over
what the
8
answer,
foot?
I don't know what the answer is, but that to me wasn't a real good indicator of separating the prices. And
Yeah.
we did raise substantially the trailer cost last year from the previous year, and I did not have a single complaint.
Right. Okay.
So what was trailer last year, 50, did you say?
There's
Yeah.
postcards attached to my bulletin board in there. I can't remember.
Yeah,
offhand.
25 for truck and car and 50 for trailer.
Did we approve the use of that postcard company you brought up? For the postcard
Yeah,
company?
no, that was just like a discussion.
That was a discussion.
Good question.
I know that in some years in the past, and the cleanup day was kind of picked last year late, and we were doing this early this year, thank you. We have in years past included it, which I'm gonna do with the winter taxes, put a newsletter into there where we could put cleanup on there, and then we don't pay the cost of the construction of and mailing of the postcard.
So, and that's
And most
done in
people, and
December?
it goes out in December, so if we pick a date now, we could send that out in December.
Can't pick a date. We get that from
From
GFL.
yeah.
They actually.
The only thing I'm
Well,
thinking
not
too
quite
is if we
enough time.
don't do a mailer, though, send it out in December, by the time May rolls around, all the people forget about it.
Oh, no,
No.
They're pretty good.
I
about
would.
remembering.
they don't, they don't. I don't
They
know why,
attach
but
it
it's
to
the
their
one thing they
fridge.
don't.
Gotcha.
They do, they attach it to their fridge.
We even, and yeah, they don't forget.
But
And most of the people who use it know that it's the first, usually it's always the first weekend in.
Usually the day before Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna ask for anyway. See if we can get it again.
You're just thinking the first Saturday in May.
Well, that's usually when they do
Usually
it.
when, yeah.
Tried to make it a little later one year and they said, no,
Yeah.
this is when you're scheduled.
It gets
Then I would be
crazy.
happy to make contact with GFL and see
Okay.
if that date's available and
Yeah.
what the rate is per yard, if it's
Okay.
changed from last year.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
great.
And if we lock into that date, then I make a motion, if he gets that information to me before the tax bills go out, that we just accept that date and
Okay.
put it in the tax bills.
We have to have that by November 18th.
So
Your
then,
newsletter has to be done by November 18th.
so if you get that
Does it?
quickly, we can get that
Okay.
in there.
That's always
And we can discuss the
negotiable
dollars and cents at the
with Kelly.
Okay.
future meeting. I
Yeah.
think.
Tax bills aren't gonna be done till
So
December.
Therese,
Everybody's good with
your
that.
motion is to accept that date from GFL and put it in the tax.
If we still can, yes, get it in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second.
Are we dealing with dollars on this because we're sending out paperwork or is,
It's free paperwork this time.
okay,
We make the copies, right?
No,
Okay.
they do.
All right.
They come with, they send them right out with our tax bills. They send our tax bills out.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Land division fees.
Did these change? They
We
look
wanna
like
ch-
they're the same.
We wanna change them, because when I was at the MTA conference, they said that you should at least be covering costs. So, there's three of us for land divisions, I get $60 each, so it's $180. So everybody knows what to do, we're losing money. So. I move that we increase the land division fee from first division to $180 and keep each additional division at $10 effective.
Just a question. Where was the $10 for each additional division? Why, how was that number created? Is there a reason or amount of work entitled? Should that money go up
There's a
as well?
separate, no, there's a separate amount of work, but which goes into mostly the zoning fee. But we can't charge more than and put that money into like the general fund or whatever, because it's misuse of funds.
So I think that might be just to cover paperwork.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
can
a
cover
whole-
all costs associated, so
Yeah.
you're covering, yeah.
Actually, the 180 really doesn't cover a cost because of our portion of the federal FICA taxes.
Well, and it's also not covering 100% of our costs either. I mean, if that's your goal, and I don't want to, I mean, I think it's much closer and I think that's way better.
Yeah, that's-
It's just that like, so the assessor puts a lot of work in there and we are paying him, giving him ESTA hours for that work.
Right.
So, right.
It'd
so
be
it's
hard
actually
to
more than
break
that.
all that
It is,
out.
it
Want
is.
to get
So I
technical.
So, but what I'm saying
wanna
is you
cover
don't
that.
have to, you don't have to have an exact dollar that you're covering. So we could say 200 and we still would not, it'd be hard pressed for somebody to say we didn't really spend that much to, right, that's all I'm saying. But I think 180 is fair.
Wilson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Ford, yes, Sykes.
Yes. Motion carries.
Are you gonna recreate it when we have this in
I'll have to read it.
I can make it into a PDF or,
I think it's a PDF already. We just have to
but I
turn
mean, we
into
can
a
open it
Word.
up so we can edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Lawn beds.
You just want to get these started in the paper. So we just need to approve the publication fees now? Or what do you wanna do?
Is there really any language that has to be changed except for the year on the that we've used before?
I think we have been
Setting
updating them all
out
to
for
be more
bids, or are we
accurate.
happy with who we have?
I'm happy with who we have, the two guys that we have doing it. I'm fine with them. Honestly, I don't mind. if
I
they
don't
keep
think it's
doing
a
it.
matter of being fine with them. I think it's a matter of law, right? We have to open it up for bid.
But their prices might change because their contract ended, so they may want to increase their prices
Mhm.
next year.
And how long of a, contract?
3 years till the end of our term, fourth term. 'Cause we can't afford to pass that. My understanding.
We just did on snow.
No, somebody said something to me and like, you can't go
I've
past the
never heard
corner,
that.
but it does kind of make sense to go over past your term, because then the new people don't have to start struggling trying to figure out what they have to do, so to me, it makes sense.
Okay, can we, because it is just going into the winter, can we move on to unfinished business next month so that we can find out if that law is accurate or not? Of
Then you
not
get
going
the wording.
past?
So we wouldn't wanna. Where did that?
We can do that.
No,
know that.
well, it starts everybody thinking, too, so I
Oh,
think.
no, I hate to move it.
I
you
think
know,
we're
I'd
doing
rather just do
good.
it, Yeah.
Purchasing for treasurer.
So currently our purchasing policy is that the clerk and the supervisor have the authority to make purchases on behalf of the township for day-to-day office expenses and other things. I wanted to go purchase a little safe to keep everybody's W-4s and direct deposit forms incredibly secure. And I had to get permission, even though I'm the one with the credit card. So it just seems a little crazy. So I would like to make a motion that the treasurer be included in the purchasing power to be able to make necessary purchases up to $500. As is stated in the purchasing policy for others.
I'll second.
Don't we already have a file that looks like you have all that stuff in?
So, Mary, we do, as I explained to Ben, and I don't want to publicly announce, but now you're gonna make me. There are little tiny locks on the file cabinets. They are not the most secure things. They are very easily to pick, and there's
Oh, yeah.
also a code number right on them. You can go to Amazon and order that code number, and you can unlock my files,
I never knew
or
that.
any other file.
I never knew that.
So how
There
secure
are
are
numbers
they?
on there, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but they've been used for centuries.
So to me, that's not very secure for, I mean, granted, you're breaking a law, and we have a motion that has been passed to move my camera, it's just not been done as of yet, so that you would be seen doing that, but in the meantime, it's $68 for a safe that you can't break into, and you go to federal prison if you steal.
Well, I don't plan.
I'm just saying, so it's way more secure to me.
Yeah, the reason that it hasn't happened with the cameras is because the election had already started and I was not gonna move that drop
Oh,
box.
we
until
can't
after.
move the drop box from my understanding, because we would have to do hold and pull and wiring. That has to by law be under lights. So that leaves the only question of mine being moved. So I can make that call. Dayton's told me before,
Well,
and it's not been
yeah,
my
mine
priority.
needs to be moved to smidgen too.
Outside? Okay.
No, inside. This, the office, it was approved for the 2 office ones and the ballot. That's what the motion was approved for.
We'll have to look, because I thought it was just outside. Could be. I don't remember that. I just know that. All right, so moving on. So do we vote?
No.
No.
Okay.
Do we have any other
Ready.
discussion? Can you take roll calls, please, Rose?
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. Board of Review member and training. I move that we appoint Rose Roloffs to the Board of Review and that she completes necessary educational courses to serve.
I'll second the motion.
The training was actually for all Board of Review members are required to take training next year.
Yeah.
And you just,
But she, I believe, needs to.
you want the job. There, okay, but there is no training right now for Board of Review.
Okay.
That won't happen until next year, and as soon as I get the papers, you'll all have it.
Okay.
And so I did kind of want to approve training.
We have to
for all of
second
the
that,
guys.
though.
Ted
That's
did.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
We do that for you and Rose and Mary. So
Okay.
you guys could all get that too and all the new.
Okay. Any other discussion? Can you take roll call, please?
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes. Motion carries.
Congratulations.
I don't know.
MTA training in January.
Can we go back a step? So Rose, the motion was just simply for Rose.
Yes.
Correct. So did you want to make a motion to cover training for everybody else when it comes in at the same time, so it's all done?
So we can just do it.
You said that'd be in January?
No,
No,
that's
that's-
starting in January.
Oh.
The state offers free training in January, but it's only to 100 people. and it's
Oh.
already full.
Oh,
So we have to pay MTA to train us. Sorry.
so we don't know when that training will take place.
It's usually. It has to be before March.
Okay, well then we can wait.
You do want to make a motion on that, or you want to wait till next meeting?
Next meeting, I can have date, I
Yeah,
might have
dates.
dates for you, yeah,
Okay,
because we do like to see dates.
okay,
For the Winter
But-
Academy.
But the Winter Academy is something different.
okay. So MTA training.
I make a motion that we approve for township board members to attend the winter academy training in Frankenmuth and cover mileage if they choose to go.
And registration.
And that's the registration.
A second.
Any discussion?
For the treasurer and the clerk, I will be going, so that process that you need to get registered and then, for accommodations.
Ben seconded that, right?
I
Or
did.
Ted, or Mary did,
Mary.
and you started talking right away.
Sorry.
No problem.
It's easier, in your discussion it is easier. I found it's a quicker process if you tell them what room you want and then just transfer it over and I'll pay it.
Okay, like we did the last time?
Mhm.
Okay,
But Rose will take care of the registration part with them too.
okay.
Yep.
All right, happy to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll, please, Rose.
Zelinski,
Yes,
Sights,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Motion carries.
Payroll issues to be addressed by integrated personnel.
these are just little things that I just was trying to give everybody, like letting you know that not everything's resolved. I've done a lot of investigation, a lot of information. I've talked to the state of Michigan and their wage bureau in place, about the overpayment. Unfortunately, we have come to the conclusion, there's one small drift, which is also listed separately in there, I believe, maybe not. So the only thing we can resolve at this point regarding the ESTA, the law states that with the clerical error and we have overpaid people, we can automatically withdraw it from their checks. We don't need them to sign anything, we don't need them to do anything, we just need to take it. They also states in the law that we have 6 months from the date of that error to do so. We chose to not do so, so we have now passed that 6 months deadline. They, still, we could ask the people to do the right thing and pay us back, they don't have to. So the only thing left to correct in the ESTA issues is one gentleman paid us for what was with, what he thought was the total amount taken from his, or overpaid in his check. It was not calculated quite properly. And so we now owe him a couple bucks back. So, that's the only thing left to resolve there. Those calculations have been corrected with our spreadsheets and things. Some of the people's weren't corrected or added totally right. We've corrected them, working with, to make sure that Integrate has them. Oh, the overpayment was there. We have been incorrectly paying the clerk since the day the deputy clerk, since the day she started. We've been paying her $15 an hour versus 18, so we have to make that correction. Need to go back and track how many hours she's actually worked. Didn't have time to do that. The 941 has been refiled, amended by Integrated because the amounts on there were incorrect. That cost us $125 more to do that. It has not been paid yet because the motion is to come here in a minute. We still have to iron out some timekeeping issues. I worked with them today. We did the earned sick policy. Mandatory poster, I have not seen in the building. I think I might have actually, there's a mandatory poster that has to be put up and it really should be put up in the fire department and out here as well, regarding the ESTA policy. We also need to create a ESTA, now that we have an ESTA policy, the law states that we need to make sure each and every employee gets a copy of the ESTA policy. So moving on, I have a motion for $750 above normal payroll processing charges to cover additional expenses for amended state of Michigan forms and or internal revenue service forms as needed. The fee for each amended form is $125. That's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
The reason I'm asking for that, Ed did send me an email and inquired about this. The reason I'm asking is because there have been several issues in the payroll. I want to solve them. They're waiting to get this form done for this approval for the $125. I don't want to wait till the next board meeting to tomorrow they find an issue. I want to know that we can solve the next 5 issues in this motion. There may only be one, there may be none, but we're covered.
Any other discussion?
Did we get a second?
Can you take roll call, please?
Nelson?
Yes.
Miller? Yes. Lansky?
Yes.
Ward, yes, I.
Yes. Motion carries. Planning Commission member, I move that we appoint Valerie Handy to the Planning Commission.
I'll second.
All third.
Any discussion?
Who is she? She a member of our,
She's a resident, she's, yeah, she's on, she was on the board of,
Sure, yeah.
Cherry Land Electric, she is on the USDA, serves with them, so she's a lot of different government agencies that she's worked with and stuff, she's worked with different townships, and,
she's interested.
yep.
Oh,
Any other discussion?
she's not here.
Can you take roll call, please?
Nelson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes.
Ward, yes, I.
Yes. Motion carries. Remote deposit capture.
So the remote deposit capture is a little fancy machine that's standing at the bank teller's window. They scan your check and deposit your check. We have the ability to purchase a scanner and do that ourselves. We also have the ability to rent a scanner and do it ourselves. I am making they range to get a good one. You know, I think the second, the cheapest one was $750. I would actually want one with the printer so that it, the endorsement right on the back at the same time, so then you're talking $800. But because I want to make sure that this is a cost-saving measure and that we are actually liking doing this, because sometimes we have 50 checks in the middle of tax season to deposit. That's additional time we will be doing the bank's job, scanning those checks in. So I want to make sure it's all going to work. So I make a motion that we pay the $30 monthly fee to utilize a secure location for a remote deposit capture. I'll read it for you. Let me restart over. I'm sorry. I make a motion that the Inland Township Board approve the renting of a remote deposit scanner for 1 year for the $20 monthly fee.
That's,
I'll second.
The reason I'm asking to rent it is because, again, I want to make sure that I believe this will be a cost-saving thing, and it will also take time out of Rose Marie and my time driving to the bank, and will also save the amount of money that the township is paying out in mileage. My next motion, we have
Any other
all-
discussion?
Couple of questions. What happens to the original check once it's going through the scanner that we have? We always, if you have a checking
Mhm.
account from a bank, you get a statement from them.
correct.
And they keep the check, of course, but you get that printout.
They don't
So what-
get that check anymore
Oh, don't they?
overnight,
So
typically.
what happens to the original check when it comes to the scanner?
Okay, so there's a number of things that we could do. One, we could just, which is the bank's recommendation, is we could keep that check until we know the following day that it is scanned into the system correctly, and we would keep that check locked up.
And then you say if you're buying.
And then you say, I already bought it. You said I could. So, listen, I wanted them protected. They're
Right,
protected. So I would lock the checks up until I made sure that they were in fact scanned correctly and the bank got them. I can see that online. And then as soon as I knew that, I would shred those checks.
Okay,
There are places, because I used to work at one, when I worked in accounting, that we were required to keep those checks by policy for, 3 months. So I had to buy little plastic bags, I had to seal every day and by that day, and I had to keep them in a locked file cabinet, and then I had to shred them, rotating that. Nowadays, the scanners at the bank are more efficient, and so we don't have to do that.
okay, another question. If we're going to rent one for $20 a month, is that including the inkjet and all this other stuff that they said that you have to have in order to run these?
Yes, it covers all things. It comes with the machine, guaranteed. It comes with, if there's a problem with this machine, they address it, they fix it.
Okay, one more question. What's the difference between the thermal receipt and an ink receipt?
To tell you the truth, I didn't spend the time researching the actual equipment. I looked for the top rated ones on there and I printed them out to get an idea of what the cost of them was. Because like, I don't want to spend that money. I just wanted you to know what those options were.
Yeah,
So I
I
didn't
was
waste
just-
time doing that.
I was just curious as to what a thermal receipt would look like.
Yeah.
I mean, you get your burnt copy.
It's probably, it's
Basically.
probably, yeah, it's probably the endorsement, how they put the endorsement on the back, I'm assuming. I haven't really looked, like I said, into detail on that. I believe the way to do it is to test it out, make sure it's gonna work the way I want it to work, spend the rental fee, and then make the purchase, because I don't want an $850 piece of equipment sitting here unused.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? We'll take roll call, please, Rose.
Miller,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Worth, yes, Side,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes,
Motion carries.
I make a motion that the Inland Township Board approves the $30 monthly fee to Honor Bank to pay for the ability to scan checks remotely.
Oh, wait a minute.
You got a second
I'll
first?
second.
Okay, so the $20 covers the renting of the equipment. To do the service with the bank, and trust me, I negotiated this like crazy with them to get this price. It's normally a $30 monthly fee, and then you pay a fee per check. They started out at 16 cents per check, got them down to 6 cents a check, got them down to 0 cents a check. Because I said well, the reason being, how I look at this is we're already paying them for me to do their work, right?
Mhm.
It saves me driving, it saves, whatever. So I negotiated that, it was hard to do. That $30 though does cover secure connection, and it is an absolute requirement of the bank that the connection between us and them is that they monitor and covers those fees to be able to do that. So we will be paying in total $50 a month to be able to do this versus the $200 a month that we're paying in mileage to the bank.
See, and I thought that was all free, that once you did it, it was done. And it didn't have to go to the bank. Okay. Was there a second on that?
Yes, I second. Any other discussion? You take roll call, please, Rose.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski,
Yes,
Worth, yes, Sides.
Yes. Motion carries. Fire Department resignation, Alex Worthy.
I received a resignation from Alex Worthy. He's just moved farther away from our township. He'd already lived in Green Lake Township, but now he lives over in Blair Township because they moved, so it's just not worth it anymore. So putting his resignation.
Move to approve the resignation of Alex Worley from the fire department.
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next we have reports. Does anybody have any questions on this? That's
Yep.
I'm here to answer it.
On the, what happens to the BSNA? Because it says the October Windows implemented, forced update that severed the connection between BSA and EPIC. So is this back, is it connected again, or is BSNA not usable now?
His BSNA should be usable
Yeah, I
and,
was
and connected back to
understanding.
Apex.
Yeah, but I think it just disconnected from Apex 6 and
They
went to
don't-
Apex 7, because they had to upgrade. This
Okay.
was my understanding, but.
And then my next question is in that third paragraph with the shipping containers. I know we've got pictures of them, but are those metal or
Yeah.
are those wood? They're all metal?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
This is not, anything to do with the assessor, but when reading this, I did make a note here to give to Jim. That I think because those are becoming more and more popular and he's worried about how we tax them, I'm worried about them sitting all over the township next door to me. Like, is there a thing that we could ban long-term storage use of them? Just something to consider on the planning commission.
We already have some things, rules in place about outdoor storage. And I would think these would have to fit in there or be amended by the planning
Yeah.
commission. Oh, I did have one more question. Maybe you can answer this, Teresa. The, different classifications back here, D cost, DC, C, BC, what do all those stand for, do you know?
Those are 100% an assessor thing. I don't have anything to do with them.
Like I understand them.
Don't.
That's all right.
Yeah, people are actually building houses out of these now.
They are.
Containers.
I just could imagine my next door neighbor, he's left, putting two of them, along my property line, leaving them there to rust for the next 20 years,
County administrator, does anybody have any questions?
Nope, seems like a nice guy.
Okay. Events committee, we didn't receive anything.
Oh, but we do need to make some emotions.
So what?
Make some
We'll
motions?
bring that up
Okay.
under other business.
Oh, we could do that, or we could do it, okay.
Finance committee? Any questions on any of that? Fire chief report, any questions? Parks and Rec, we did not receive a report. Planning commission. We don't have anything on that, but we will next month. Zoning administrator, we have a written report. Any questions on that? Trustees, professional development report. Any questions on any of that?
Looks like you had a good time. Well, it's not a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I especially like the Lansing updates. She puts so much in that.
Mhm.
Oh, man, it's hard to keep up with her, but yeah. we really have a lot of good stuff.
Treasurer's report. Any questions on that? And then supervisory report, one thing I have to add that I forgot to put on there, I will be out of town, unavailable from 11/13 to 11/23 on the MVP with no cell service.
11:13 to when?
11/23.
Oh.
You didn't include it in your report, you can go.
Any other business to
I
come
quit.
before the board?
I make a motion to accept Anastasia's resignation from the events committee and appoint Ryan Persine as the new chair of the events committee.
Say those names again, please.
I'll second.
I make a motion that we accept Anastasia O'Connor's resignation from the events committee
Okay.
and appoint Ryan Persine, I think it's Preserin.
Yeah.
I'm probably not saying it right,
Okay.
as the new chair.
Was there a second?
Yes, I did.
Um, this came in late in the mail. I just want approval to go ahead and pay Cherry Lane Grocery the gas bill for the fire department. Came in late, And I didn't get a check written for it today. Right, to-
Did we approve this person?
We have to take this
already?
vote.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just thinking we had a motion.
We did.
Sorry. Are you making that motion?
No, I
No,
made
it
the
was
motion
already-
for honest option.
Oh,
You
oh,
seconded
gotcha,
it. Now
yeah.
we just need to all
Okay.
say
All in favor?
Aye.
A. Aye.
Any
Okay.
opposed?
Now, what you were talking about,
Okay.
you wanna pay a bill.
Yeah, I just want, it's a local small business guy, Cherryland Grocery. Instead of waiting until next month to pay him, can I just get approval to go ahead and pay him this month, or do you want me to wait till next month? I mean,
Are you making a motion?
I'll second Rose's motion to pay
I move to
Cherryland
pay
Grocery
Cherryland
for their
Grocery.
gas bill, add
Okay.
it to the payment.
And you're seconding.
Yes.
Any discussion? Can you take roll call, please, Rose?
Oh, could we please say the dollar amount in that motion?
$179.09.
179, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
09.
979.09.
Okay.
Are we ready then?
Yep.
Alright,
Nelson?
Yes.
Miller?
yes,
Zelinski?
Yes,
Ward? Yes, Sights?
Yes. Motion carries.
Wouldn't have asked, but he's a local small business and I,
I
Right.
think we should consider just moving him next month to prepaid because he is a local small guy and clearly need gas in the fire trucks. So we can just pay it when it comes in, and prepaid. I make a motion, we add it to prepaid.
I'll second. Any discussion? Roll call, please, Rose.
Miller?
yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights?
Yes.
Zelinski?
Yes,
Motion carries. Any other business?
I would like to make a motion. I would like to make a motion to pay Rosemarie Swart out $20 to, I can't read my own writing. I wrote this too bad. To be my deputy treasurer and to pay her, and it's typed up on my computer. I didn't write this out clear. And also for her work doing, assisting with payroll and for website as we continue to work through this. Rosemary was instrumental in getting all of that set up. Even the people at Integrated Payroll had told me they've never seen anybody more detail oriented to work with and double check all the numbers and make sure there were zero mistakes, which we had in our
That's the
first time
motion.
payroll. Oh,
Was that whole thing? the
yeah,
motion?
that's not my motion. I'll start over. I'm sorry. I just.
Were you saying $20 an hour or $20?
Yes, $20 an hour. I make a motion to pay Rosemarie Swart out $20 an hour for her duties as deputy treasurer and to pay her outside of deputy treasurer hours for payroll and assistance and for website, working on the website.
You have that written down.
Yeah, much neater on my computer. I didn't print it.
I'll second.
Okay,
Any
now I
discussion?
got a question. So, does she have to then have approved by the board so many hours past what is normal for deputy hours?
You
The way
know,
you said that
there's,
motion?
it's gonna always vary. So, I mean, I don't, some months,
It's like tax
Yeah,
season's
but-
busy.
You
yeah.
have to approve her
Does it have-
deputy treasurer hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Would it have to come back to the board for every time for how many hours are over what would be?
No, it doesn't have to come for there. You could, you can, I mean, we've never done it that way. We've never done it that way. We have, Rose during, election time has said, I would like to, we approved 100 hours of training for her deputy. We also approved 150 hours at one time for help during election season. We could approve 150 hours for Rosemary during tax season,
And if it goes over that, then she.
yeah,
Then it
but-
has to come back.
but I don't think that, I mean, it could have, so if you want me to make those motions,
But,
up.
yeah, we
Let's
do-
pass
we-
this one and then we
do
can do
have to
that.
approve that her hours that we're gonna allow her to work for deputy treasurer only, not for the other stuff that I'm aware of.
I mean, we can approve them, we don't have to approve them, you know, so let's vote this on and then we can
Okay.
discuss it.
Any other discussion?
Wait, did we second?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
we
sorry.
second.
Okay, so
Are
I
you
don't
still
wanna
discussing
yeah,
or
I'm still
voting?
discussing, I'm
Okay.
sorry. So the reason, like, I'm gonna do payroll, that's my plan. I'm always going to do the payroll aspect with working with integrated. There are times that that I may not be able to be here to be the one to communicate
Sure.
an issue with them. I would like that to be Rosemary. So it's not gonna be a tremendous number of hours, but I am gonna use her always when I fill in anything with them, that she is my double checker. And so if you wanna make hours for that, we can make hours for that. I really don't think it's necessary. And website is kind of, it's always, that's gonna depend on what's going on.
Any other discussion? Take roll call, please, Rose.
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes,
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes, motion carries.
I make a motion that we approve Rosemary Sword out to work 150 hours during tax season, from now through the end of winter tax season.
Through the end of March,
I'll second.
150 hours.
Is that a normal amount of time
I
necessary?
would say it's
for-
not to exceed, but.
I said up to.
Right,
Okay, oh, well, yeah, you can reword it not to
So-
exceed.
so it'll, if she has 20 hours, it's 20 hours, if it's 10 hours, it's 10 hours. But it's not to exceed so that we have leniency, I think.
That wouldn't be
Yeah,
hard.
once she reaches.
You want me to reword that?
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
No, it's fine.
Any other discussion? Can you take roll call, please, Rose?
Zelinski,
Yes.
Sights,
Yes,
Worth, yes, Nelson,
Yes.
Miller.
Yes,
motion carries. Any other business?
I would just like to clarify one last thing. And this is partially probably mine because I did slightly change the motion in the last meeting from what I had written. I would like to make sure that it's clear that the treasurer, and Rosemary Sword out, the deputy treasurer and now payroll assistant, are the communicators for all ESTA, all payroll issues only with integrated payroll. That's my motion.
We have a second.
I can explain if you second.
Did you ask for a second or did you second?
I have.
I'll second the motion.
I just want to clarify that the reason being is if I'm going to take this on, and I've taken this very seriously, I want to know that what I say is what they do. And I want Rosemary to be my assistant. As you said, two people should always look at it. To be that one, I will continue immediately upon them being available to us, the reports, get them to the clerk so that she can make the necessary journal entries.
Okay, any other discussion? Can you take roll call, please, Rose?
Nelson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Zelinski.
Yes.
Worth, yes, Sights.
Yes, motion carries. Any other business?
I make a motion that we end this meeting.
You have.
Okay.
Do you
We
want,
have public comment.
Oh, that's right.
It's gonna start at, I think,
I'll write
we're gonna-
it.
7:38.
7:38. Do you have any public comment?
I've got two things. One for the planning commission, actually in the report that didn't quite get in. One of the things picked up at the MTA training, there's a lot of confusion about what aspects of zoning and whatever gets handled by which body. There's the zoning administrator, there's the planning commission, there's the zoning board of appeals, and there's the board. And they each function in some manner, but my understanding, and maybe it's because I'm new to the the chair position, a little confusion of who does what. So one of the things, if I could have a representative from the zoning board of appeals at next Monday's meeting, that would be wonderful. We have a board representative, the zoning administrator will be there, and of course, the planning commission will be there. But just to talk through who does what, so that the planning commission can make a recommendation to the board. If you can do that.
We have, who besides Evan is on CPA?
I'd have to look and remember off the top of my head.
Cause there's supposed to be a planning commission member on CPA.
So I have a second item. Usually I put myself in the twilight zone, by something that I've done, but, I have to say tonight, you guys put me in the twilight zone. Talking about the, fire department millage. If I understand what you guys did tonight, you're proposing $1 million millage and don't have a plan for new equipment. I don't know how I can state it any other way than we have over $1.5 million of money sitting around that we don't have a plan for. And you guys want to go out and get more tax money from our residents, which to me just seems not only absurd, it seems obscene. We can certainly wait a year and not have any millage and decide that, okay, the planning commission has put forward the master plan, the capital improvement plan, which certainly a new fire engine would fall under a capital improvement. We have a huge cushion. I mean, 5, 6, 7 times what our consultants suggest we should have. And that's not including any of the fire equipment fund at all, or the fire operation fund, or any of the land that we're considering what to do with, possibly sell, which adds to that $1.5 million plus. And I just don't understand at all why you want to go out and either extend or create a new fire millage when we're sitting on a ton of money. People are concerned about their taxes, which is a point that was made repeatedly down in Frankenmuth. The millage for the very needed road commission failed for a variety of reasons, not by much, but it did fail. And I would strongly request as a citizen that you reconsider yet another millage for something that you don't have planned, and we don't need the money. So off my soapbox and back out of the twilight zone.
Any other public comment?
Yes, Rosemary Swartout. So you've accepted Peggy's resignation. Is there, from the website person, who's now the chairperson of the website, or excuse me, of the planning commission? Parks and Rec, thank you. I got 2 things down here, sorry, Parks and Rec, so I'll need information on that. And then question on the Board of Review, you approved Rose roll-ups. There's the Board of Review meeting in December, so is she able to be on the board without training? Okay, okay,
Usually are.
okay, just a question, I thought that it was
No, I know.
required to be on. Also, tomorrow's Veterans Day, and if you drive by all the cemeteries and this flag, they are extremely, extremely beyond their life. They should have been replaced months ago. Whose responsibility is it to take care of the flags, and when they're supposed to be lowered at half staff, you know, that didn't happen last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. Who's responsible for taking care of the flag stuff? I mean, we're a government entity. I think that's kind of important. Those flags need to be retired extremely, a long time ago.
public comment? Public comment is closed at 7:44. Adjournment, or actually announcement, sorry.
I was just gonna run through a couple highlights over the last 3 months for fellow board members. We now have an official payroll company, as well as we also have direct deposit. Two good things.
We
Our
have
October-
100% compliance with our direct deposit.
We're moving in the right direction. Give yourself credit.
It wasn't without some pause.
Our October meeting, and it looks like our November meeting will be less than 2 hours. We approved a snowplow contract just in time for the snow to fall.
Yep.
Work on next year's fiscal budget has already begun. We had a Halloween pet parade event. We approved an accounts payable policy. We appointed 2 new planning commission members and a board of review member. The township's master plan progress is over halfway to completion and adoption. We had an official dedication of the Lamb Road Park in September, and the Lamb Road Pavilion is now completed. We approved a more efficient board agenda, which seems to be working quite well. We approved a lawn maintenance contract and a sexton's contract. We have a new deputy clerk. The fascia repair was completed, and we now have smart office suite, which is broadcasting our meeting via YouTube. So just, I think, once in a while, we should look back and see what we've done over the last couple of board meetings.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So good job, everyone.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
You go, Ben.
Listen to, so what's all the junk on the bottom?
Some-